I'm live, I'm live, I'm live. Sorry, guys, I'm fucking sick as shit right now. But today I'm gonna be, for this live stream, I'm gonna be looking at a bunch of videos, just random videos. I need to shave, but I'm gonna be looking at a bunch of random videos. Yeah. Uh, that's good. But I was gonna do recommended videos, but no. Too lazy. Let's see what we got here. What the fuck? Okay, let me just get this out of my recommended. That's so dumb. What the fuck?
The best thing that you could do is just send them for free. That's definitely the best thing you could do. I don't like this view. Why is this view like this? I don't like this, but alright. This is what happens when you press a bunch of buttons on Streamlabs. You fuck everything up. Okay, I'm just not gonna look at myself.
15,000.
For the most part.
Or 1,500 for tactical
nuke. Alright, so
nuke.
welcome back to the stream. Sorry for the little hiccup there. I kind of fucked up. I don't know. YouTube changed some shit, and I don't know what happened. So here we are. Welcome to the stream. Make sure you have a glass of water. But this is what we do. We stream, we listen to music, we react to it,
Sean.
and yeah, I give you my...
Okay, we're gonna watch some scary videos. That's what I've been watching lately. God. Ash needs... Let's see... Okay.
It was the day before Valentine's Day in 2010. My mom and dad had asked me to dog sit our family German Shepherd at the house I grew up in Philadelphia, while they took their first them-only vacation since my brother or myself had been born. The plan was for them to be gone for 8 days.
His dad looks weird.
But the night in question, which is the third night after they had left, was reason enough for them to come home early. I was sleeping on the couch in the living room, as my old bedroom was now a storage room for my dad's stuff. At around 3 or 4 a.m., an explosively loud bang woke me up from a dead sleep, and my dog started going crazy. I assumed it was his barking that had woken me up.
That's a gunshot. That someone is dead. Okay, let me look at my Facebook comments real fast. So,
I assumed it was his
my
barking.
My phone's kind of dead. So someone just said, I don't know who that is, but okay.
So despite being scared, my first thought was to sit up on the couch and to call him over to reassure him that everything was fine and he could go back to sleep. But just before I was going to sit up to do that, I heard a woman scream, "No, Dad, no," in absolute terror, followed by another incredibly loud bang.
Damn.
Immediately after, I felt tiny wood splinters fall into my eye from the wall the couch was against, as they trickled down onto my face. That second bang turned out to be the sound of my neighbor shooting and killing his daughter.
The freak?
Those wood shavings that had gotten into my eye, they were from where the impact of either her body or the bullet, or even both, hit the wall directly on the other side of where I was sleeping. It had splintered some of the brick between our houses and caused my living room wall to push in a few millimeters. My head would have been pretty damn close to this spot had I actually sat up after the first bang to reassure my dog.
Oh my
Given
gosh.
that the bullet didn't actually come through the wall, I would have been fine even if I had sat up. But knowing what I know now, I'm glad I laid there for the extra second. Naturally, I called 911. I made sure my front and back doors and all the windows were locked. Within 3 minutes, the next bangs I was hearing were those of the police kicking the guy's door down and screaming for him to get on the ground. I sat at my window and watched them walk him out in cuffs and put him in a cruiser. It wasn't until the cops in the one cruiser had driven away with him in the back that I finally opened my door to talk to the other cops that were still on the scene. I told them what I'd heard and gave them a statement. A week later, I was subpoenaed to testify against him in court because it was claiming that the whole thing was an accident. However, I heard his daughter screaming before he fired the second round. No way that that was accidental. Testifying against him was terrifying, because if he got off, well, he was my parents' neighbor and I knew he wasn't above murder. Thankfully, the DA made sure he didn't get off. He's 70 years old now and has another 20 plus years of jail time, with no possibility of parole.
Glad he's in. Eef. I'd have been scared. Eef. I'd have been scared. Let me see how it's gone. Eef. I'd have been scared. Let me see how it's gone. Okay, let's check out YouTube. Let's check out YouTube. I'm not even live streaming CSGO. Okay, there we go. You gotta fix everything. YouTube's higher quality if you guys want to know. Who the freak keeps on texting me? Oh. We're gonna watch 31 minutes. No. We're gonna watch one more of these, and then I've been watching this guy. He's pretty good. Corey Kenshin. I've been watching him for years. I've been getting back to watching him now.
Next time you do this, you could be doing this. How?
When I was 10 years old, I stayed at home by myself for the first
This guy's black. I like it.
time while my parents went out for a date. I was really into horror movies, so my imagination ran wild, so I had every light on in the house. I was scared, honestly, but not so much due to the lights. My parents told me they would be back by 10, so I wasn't really worried. I had food, blockbuster movies to watch, and my favorite game, Manhunt, on my
Zony.
PS2. By the way, this was 2004. It started to get dark outside when all of a
2004.
sudden a storm hit. And the lights went out. As soon as it happened, I ran into our living room near the front of the house with my flashlight. I was definitely afraid now. I decided to get
would've.
under the covers on the couch.
How?
I tried
Wait,
to
did it say how old he was? I don't know.
fall asleep, but I was so afraid I couldn't. I don't know why, but I peeked out from under the covers, and I swear, I saw the silhouette of a man in the corner of the room.
What the fuck?
I jumped back under my covers, breathing heavily. Then all I heard was slow, methodical footsteps. They were coming toward me.
I would have died.
Then I heard whispering along with the footsteps. My heart was pumping out of my chest at this point. Then the sound stopped. I just laid there frozen. No sound.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Go! I got up and
That
ran out of
almost
the
got
house
me.
because it felt like someone touched my arm. And I know I heard someone yell the word go.
This
I
nigga
pretty
ran
much
out the
ran out of
house.
the house with the blanket over my head. I ran to my neighbor's house. I told them what happened and they called the cops from their cell phones. My parents arrived a little later than they expected due to bad traffic. They seemed angry about what happened. The police say that there was no evidence of a break-in. I still to this day remember that feeling of fear, but I really don't know if it were my imagination or not.
What would you guys do if that happened? Even though there's nobody watching right now. What would you guys do if that happened? I'd jump off a bridge. No, I wouldn't.
This is a story that didn't happen to me. It happened to my dad. It's not a scary story about a creepy encounter with someone or anything.
Oh, that
paranormal.
hurts my eyes. Jeez.
It's more of a close call kind of story. Anyway, in 2001, he was working for a big company, a good paying job. I'm not sure how long he worked there since I was 3 years old at the time.
Yeah.
He got laid off on September 9th, 2001, 2 days before 9/11. On the morning of 9/11, he's still asleep and gets a call from my grandfather saying, "Those raghead terrorists, I'm going to kill all of them." He asked him why the hell he was yelling and cussing into the
There you go.
So his dad, basically his dad was so lucky that they fired him. Not lucky for the other people, but lucky for his dad. Dang.
phone at 8 a.m. My grandfather tells him to turn on the TV and check out the news. Well, you know the rest. 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. This part I actually remember seeing on TV. Of course, being 3 years old, I had no idea what was going on. Now here's some creepy stuff for the story. After the towers collapsed, my dad gets a call from his boss. He asked him, "James, what the hell just happened?" There was a loud explosion and everyone started freaking out. I'm still in the tower and it's really dark in here. My dad tells him the towers are gone. They collapsed. I'm not really sure how their conversation went after this, but eventually his boss's phone cut off. He somehow survived the collapse by being trapped in an air bubble or something like that.
Wait, so his manager just calls straight to him. What the hell? That's kind of weird. Even though he got fired, his manager does his what? I'm confused. Why would you call like the person that you fired and ask them? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't somehow get an airplane to just crash into there. I don't know, but I don't know, but I don't know why his old manager would call him.
I don't know. He got trapped under all the debris and was stuck in the air bubble. No idea how he got signal on his phone underneath all of that. His body was never found. Now the main reason I'm sharing this story is because a few years ago, my dad told me something that is chilling to think about. Right before
Oh, they didn't find his body. Oh, shoot. Wait, huh? Okay.
he was laid off, he was scheduled to go to a meeting with his boss. and some other people he worked with.
Before he was laid off. Oh.
The meeting took place on the 72nd floor of the North Tower. It was supposed to start exactly at 8 a.m.
He's so lucky.
Coincidence or not, this is creepy. I'm glad he never went to go to that meeting. I only have a few early childhood memories from 2001, so I almost grew up without a father. Now it's just something our family talks about every now and then.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have
I am not gonna play this.
hours of
About 5 months ago.
I'm gonna subscribe to this guy. What is his name? Nightmare Files.
And they told me to check my TikTok, so I did.
There you go. Follow him. Okay, let's get back to this. I would subscribe. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'll subscribe to him.
I'm 26 years old, and this story happened about 5 months ago. One night I woke up at around 1 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep. Usually when this happens, I go on my laptop and I go on social media or I watch YouTube.
What I usually do is I usually wake up 3 a.m. and then I usually just sit there for hours and then school starts.
Pretty bored after a while. And then remember my friend telling me about the deep web, and even worse, the dark web. I thought it's the perfect time to check it out. When I go on there was a lot of links to click on, such as live rape.
Okay.
Illegal pornography, hitmen for hire, human body parts for sale, torture, all kinds of stuff. I clicked one link that said home invasion live stream.
You're an idiot.
First thing I saw upon clicking.
You're a freaking idiot. You are a freaking idiot. I want to go to her live. I'm just playing. But this
Thinking
guy's
was
an
a man.
idiot. Why would you go to a home invasion live stream? They're going to invade your home. You idiot. You just give them your IP, your address,
Filming himself.
everything.
He was wearing a clown mask and held up a large knife imitating slicing his own throat. He then turned the camera around to film a window that was slightly open. He took his shoes off and slowly slid the window open and climbed inside. You could see him sneaking upstairs. He entered the bathroom where he made a small cut on his arm with the knife he was carrying. He got all the toothbrushes and rubbed them in his open wound and put them back how he found them. I didn't really feel comfortable watching this. But after seeing that I was disgusted, I couldn't click away. I was too enticed by this and what he was doing, so I kept watching. He then opened the door to a bedroom where a man and a woman were sleeping. He leaned over to the man, put his hands right next to his face, almost touching him. Then the same again with the blade that he was carrying. He pressed the knife right up to his throat, almost making contact. The masked man then went and stood right next to the woman on her side of the bed and stood there just staring at her, just watching her breathe as she slept. After just standing there, he pulled something out of his pocket and placed it next to the woman's pillow. I couldn't see what it was, but then he zoomed in. It was a note with the words, "I could have raped and killed your whole family," written on it. He then snuck out of the bedroom, and I said out loud, "This guy is so fucked up." He paused, and he turned the camera onto himself and just stared at it. I thought, that's weird.
He probably heard you.
It's like he heard me say that. He was still staring at the camera, in fact. It was like he was staring at me. After a short pause, he carried on sneaking around downstairs and quietly climbed out the window. And the stream ended. At that point, I also had enough for one night and decided to try and sleep. I never told anyone that I went on the deep web. And about 3 weeks after watching that live stream, I woke up one morning to see a note next to my pillow, and it read, "So who's fucked up now?"
Oh.
Yeah, I was scared. But I didn't tell anybody because it sounds fake. But I tell you what, I will never go back on the deep or the dark web again.
That's your fault, you dummy. Let me see YouTube comments. I don't think anybody's watching through YouTube. I haven't been doing anything with my YouTube channel. I haven't been doing anything with my YouTube channel. But what would you guys do, like, if this happened to you guys? Like, someone, or you're looking at the dark web, and the guy, and you say, I don't know. It's just, why would you guys be on the dark web? Why would you guys search up stuff? Tell me. Me, honestly, probably for the porn. But I don't really need porn from the dark web. I'm kind of good, so yeah. Honestly.
Get this money, get this bread. I'll fuck your bitch, she giving me head. Get this money, get this bread. I'll fuck your bitch, what she giving me head. Yeah, give me head. Yeah.
Let's get back to this. Sorry guys, we just want to hear a little bit of music. Yo, let's go. Okay, that's loud. Sakura.
This story happened to me on my first day of high school. I remember walking down my street in the morning toward the bus stop. There were a few other kids that stood next to me talking. There was also a man who definitely didn't belong at a high school bus stop. He was tall, had a shaved head, a mustache, and a white tank top on.
The payment's due, Chan.
Please, I can't.
I thought he looked weird and out of place, but I really didn't give it a second thought. My first day of high school actually went fine. It was on the way home where it all went wrong. I got on the school bus, and as I was walking to find my seat, I saw the same man.
Oh my gosh, what the hell? Okay, but my first day of high school, it was kind of different because, when I was in middle school, I only went to like 2 middle schools, and the one that I went for a long time only had boys, so it's kind of different having girls. And oh my god, but it's high school has been really good. Trust me, you guys, you don't want to go to all boys school or all girls school. Those schools sucks. Or I said sucks, but those schools suck. You want to stay in school. You don't want to get in trouble. You want to be good, you know. And I just messed it up, but yeah, I think that's enough. Plus, someone just came in the house. But I'll talk to you guys later.
Get money, get this bread.